Здравствуйте, hello, and welcome back to another video. Today we are exploring Orthodox Christianity, and coming from the Netherlands, I have never learned much about the Orthodox Church. Actually, in the western side of Europe, it is not really well known. So to give you an idea, in Russia, of all the inhabitants, about 60% follows an Orthodox faith. So you can see that Orthodox Christianity really is the main part of the country, and there are many monasteries in Russia, many Orthodox churches. So, since this is such an important part of Russian culture, I thought to myself, let's visit one of the ceremonies together and learn a little bit about it. And today I am standing in the monastery of Rostov. And Rostov is a small city about an hour drive underneath of Yaroslavl, where I currently live. And today we visited the Church of the Holy Trinity. And now you might be wondering, why did I go to this particular church? That is actually because Father Joseph gives an English spoken ceremony here every Sunday. And I was really interested in the Orthodox Church and I wanted to learn more about it. But it can be pretty intimidating since I speak a little Russian now, but definitely not enough to follow an entire ceremony in Russian. So I was really excited when I found out that Father Joseph gives an English spoken ceremony right here in Rostov. And the ceremony actually started at 9 a.m, so it was still pretty dark when we arrived here. And the ceremony lasted for 2.5 hours, which is definitely longer than we are used to in the Netherlands. And it was really special to see. Even during the ceremony, he said that, well, if you come here for the first time, and I couldn't help but think that he was kind of directing this to us. He said, you might feel like you are on planet Mars and you don't know anything of what is going on. And that is exactly what I felt like. He was walking around and with bells and with, I forget the word, with wierook. And it is definitely very different from what I'm used to in the Netherlands, Protestant or Catholic churches. Orthodox and Catholic faiths have actually been separated for very long now, so it was around 1050 that the Orthodox Church split from the Catholic Church. And I think I actually had a very unique opportunity here because I wanted to know, like, what is actually different? Why would one perhaps prefer Orthodox Church or prefer Catholic churches? And of course, since this is an English-speaking ceremony, the audience were mainly people that come from abroad, in this case mainly Americans, because Father Joseph himself is American, and some of them even come from Moscow all the way to Rostov, which is about a 2.5-hour ride. And many of them also switched from, some of them were atheists before and now turned to Orthodox, or they were Catholic or Protestants and turned to Orthodox. And I asked them, like, why did you choose to convert? Why did you change? What is, in your opinion, better about Orthodox faith? So he essentially told me that what he really likes about the Orthodox Church is that it is very much focused on doing the work yourself. So even just a very clear example is, in many Catholic churches, you are sitting down on a bench and you are kind of like watching a show. Whereas in Orthodox churches, you will not sit down, you will stand mainly the entire ceremony if you can. And that just means that you have to participate much more, you have to do more of the work yourself. And what they really liked about Orthodox faith is how traditional it was. They really felt that this was the way it was done when the Bible was written. They felt that when reading the Bible and visiting these ceremonies, they could really see the work of the Bible back in the ceremonies. And of course, you can have all sorts of opinions here. I am just telling you what they told me. A Dutch friend of mine actually converted from Protestantism to Eastern Orthodox Christianity. Like me, she knew very little about it at first and wanted to learn more. So she started doing her own research. She said she found the traditional approach of the Orthodox Church appealing. She told me the church actually existed for a long time before the Bible was written, and traditions were passed on from one person to another. She observed that some churches these days take away a lot of the traditions on which Christianity is built. Let's briefly listen to her story together.
Hello everyone. My name is Jasmijn. We were quite religious, yes. We would go to church Almost every Sunday we would read the Bible. We didn't know about Eastern Orthodoxy at all. A year ago, I started visiting an Orthodox Church with my parents. I wasn't the only one who got interested. My parents, my brother as well. I will be receiving Holy Baptism in 2 weeks. In my parish, there are so many new people. It is incredible. You can see that a lot of people desire authenticity. They desire conservatism because the church starts to become liberal. It starts to mix itself with politics and other stuff that does not belong in the church.
And of course, I've also filmed some parts of the ceremony, so I will include them into this video to really give you an idea of what it is like.
His path to healing was via humility and confession of what he was. He knew that he couldn't see, he knew that he couldn't find his own way, and so he used the only thing that he had, and that was his voice, and he just hollered at the top of his lungs, "Son of David, have mercy on me." But this was not socially acceptable. This was distracting. This was embarrassing to the other people. And the other people were trying to tell him, just be quiet, don't cause a scene. But all he did was get louder because he didn't care what anybody thought of him. He didn't care what the social rules were. He cared about one thing, and that's one thing alone, and that is how I get to Jesus, how I get his attention. God, you Christ, all the clergy and people, let's pray to the Lord. Lord, have mercy. For his plans according to our forces, and for all with faith and mind, let's pray to the Lord.
If you are interested in moving to Russia and you also want to learn more about the Orthodox Church, everyone is welcome here every Sunday to visit Father Joseph and to talk to him about the Orthodox Christianity. What I really liked about it is how down to earth he was with it. I was afraid that perhaps he would be unhappy with the fact that I don't know much about the Orthodox Church, but it wasn't like that at all. He was very empathic to the fact that I felt like I was just walking on Mars, and he tried to explain things in a way that I could understand. Especially during the liturgy, he spoke in words that you can very well understand. Even if you don't have anything in faith, even if you are an atheist yourself, you will understand the principles. Like, I think the values of Christianity in general can be recognized and appreciated by anyone. It was a very special thing to experience, and afterwards all of us actually went to a restaurant nearby and we talked a little more about faith, so then I could ask all my questions. I think it is a very nice community, so I just mainly wanted to share that on here to tell you that once you come here, don't be afraid that you will be alone or that you will have a hard time finding people. It can be very easy. Even if you don't speak Russian, the Russians will welcome you with open arms. If you try to just speak a little Russian, if you try to understand their culture, they will welcome you. And there are always places like this where you can find people perhaps from the country where you've been from, or at least find people that speak English, and just talk to them about your experience of emigrating to Russia and ask them for help. So that is just to say, don't be afraid when emigrating that you will be lonely, because you will definitely be not, as long as you are open to meeting new people, open to experiencing new things. So that is all I had to share for today. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you at the next video.